Disaster leads back to him. Oh, what a surprise. I would have never guessed this.
This trucker's CDL situation is getting so scary, even ultra-left Reddit is starting to sound like the MAGA movement.
Ooh.
As over in Florida, this trucker takes an illegal left turn on the highway, blocking all the lanes, causing a fatal collision. With the New York Post revealing the crash that killed 3 was caused by an illegal individual. And on the DHS's official reporting on the incident, they stated they attempted to use an official use only access point. And although he had no legal right to be in the country, California still issued him a commercial driver's license operating a 40-ton 18-wheel truck.
Why are people putting up with this? This is the reason why I think a lot of people don't support Trump, is because you should be coming down with the full force of the federal government to absolutely crucify anybody and everything inside of the system that created this outcome. Totally fucking stop this. Like, prevent this from ever happening again. Like, that's one thing. Like, I was mad at Trump because he didn't put Hillary Clinton in jail. You said you were going to put her in jail. Did you put her in jail? No, nobody went to jail. Bill Clinton didn't go to jail. Hillary Clinton didn't go to jail. Obama didn't go to jail. Nobody went to jail. Nothing happened. That's one of the reasons why I was frustrated. I mean, what, arrest Newsom? Yeah, maybe. Sure. No one's above the law. For what, though? For creating a system that allows crime and not upholding the laws. And I think really, I mean, at a certain point, whenever you're allowing a bunch of foreign nationals to come into the country and commit crime and terrorize people, at what point is this not treason? Because there's got to be a point, right?
Been sent home, but remained because he was afraid to return to India. And the more we know about this tragedy, the worse it becomes.
They didn't send him back because he didn't want to go back to India? Is this a joke? Oh my God.
That this was completely avoidable is compounded by the idea that this is a much larger issue than anybody knew about, as terrible policies in liberal states like California are even putting people in danger in conservative states like Florida. It's interesting how only local outlets and right-leaning media seems to highlight this horrible story.
Well, it's because, again, the reason why they highlight it, it's because the media is completely biased. I mean, and Fox News is biased too. It's not like Fox News isn't biased. They're just biased from the other side, so they're going to be talking about this all day. But it's because, again, all of this, corporate media is completely done for the intent and the purpose of misleading you and making you believe something. That's it.
Places like super left Reddit is having discussions about this, attempting to be objective, with the top comment from r/truckers being about someone experiencing the same exact thing.
Wow. Bro, I feel the same way. I shit you not. Some Indian dude just tried doing a U-turn in front of me on Highway 380 here in Dallas-Fort Worth area. Dude almost had 3 lanes crash into him. Had I not keep going playing chicken with him, dude rolled his window down and started yelling at me. I was speechless. Who the fuck tries to do this shit at all? I mean, have you seen the way they drive in India? Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, they could be the best drivers in the world in India, but they shouldn't be getting a license here if they can't speak English. Like, I mean, it's not even a question. There's plenty of Indians that come over from India and they can drive without causing a fucking, a massacre.
About how that specific country has different driving norms, and how they have 1% of the world's vehicles, but 10% of its deaths. Which seems like a mature, objective conversation that isn't common on Reddit, except when you consider how much of their interactions are actually bots, which that post looks 100% generated by AI, with every single ChatGPT detector saying so, and that's the only way Reddit will accidentally tell the truth. And again, this proves absolutely nothing about foreign truckers as a whole.
Nobody has a problem with somebody who's a foreign person that's a trucker here. We have a problem, and everybody has a problem when it's somebody who's here who's not supposed to be here, who can't speak English and didn't take the tests the right way that they should have, and they're driving around anyway. Like, there's a massive fucking difference between these two things. It's a huge difference.
But why is it so difficult to have this in the first place? With the second most upvoted comment to being about how this same thing happened in Indiana, giving them certain feelings about foreign truckers. With the top reply to that being from someone sharing that same race, having the same feelings because they make them all look bad. And as somebody from an ethnicity also known for being notoriously bad drivers, I understand where
oh God.
he's coming from. Most of us don't see this story and think, ban all foreign-born CDL holders. We just want to know how someone that doesn't understand the basics of our traffic laws...
Well, I think it's making people racist. I think that's what's happening, is that, like, now you're having people that want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so, like, these types of rules and everything that have happened, and this, like, blatant unfairness and this blatant disregard for the law has, I think it's radicalized a lot of people. And in the process of radicalizing a lot of people, I think what it's done is that it's made people go so far in the other direction. Whereas, I mean, for me personally, like, if a legal immigrant comes over and they want to do this, that's fine. But you have to pass certain tests and you have to do things the right way. Obviously, that's the way the world works. But the issue is that people have become so radicalized by seeing the unfairness of this that they become the opposite of it. And so now you have just general anti-Indian racism because of these select groups of people getting preferential treatment in ways that they never should have. And that's the issue, right? Is that the ultimate result and the end outcome of these policies is that it makes people more racist. That's what's happening.
Was legally allowed to get a commercial driver's license and be given an 18-wheeler. So in the future, we can prevent this same thing from occurring again.
Yep.
No one is suggesting racism as a solution, but they'll always use the potential of that to deflect from real criticisms of a broken system.
Well, that's exactly it. Yeah, I mean, anybody who criticizes this and they say, well, the guy can't speak English, there's like a, you know, kind of like this like implication that it's racist to bring up this point.
The next top comment on Reddit was them researching this specific driver, as he shares the same name as a guy that 4 years ago used his...
Oh, no! We got... Bro, come on! Repeat offender 4 years ago. So, well, that would make sense. Because, so logically, if you look at the timing of this, it said that his application was denied in 2020 and it was approved in 2021. So that means that if this was the same guy, and plenty of people have the same name, so we don't know if it was or not. Maybe now we do. But let's assume that it is. This would have been right when he got his license, that he never should have had to begin with, by the way.
Truck to collapse a bridge in Arkansas, who also was connected to a California-based trucking company. But the X replies found that it's a common name, and oddly, very common in the trucking industry. Now, no one is accusing every single one of those guys as being bad drivers. It's just a...
But the racist backlash from this will. And that's what's going to happen. And that's why you have so much anti-Indian racism now. Like, anti-Indian racism is probably the most culturally accepted form of racism after anti-white racism. Patterns don't lie. Yeah, but of course it's going to be a pattern because you have a lot of false positives of people that shouldn't be there. But the reality is that the majority of people that drive around and they're Indian, they're not driving around causing a chaos wherever they're going. It's not like they're playing Grand Theft Auto here. The problem is not with where a person comes from, it's whether a person is qualified to do what they're doing. So I think that, like, if you get focused on like this one issue with Indians, oh, okay, well, like, Indians are the problem. Well, what about a Brazilian? What about a Guatemalan that comes here? What about somebody from Africa? Like, the same problem still exists. It's and also even a person like a Russian, right? It's not racial even either. If a Russian's driving around and doing this, it's a problem. So the real problem fundamentally is not the country that they're coming from or what that country's culture is like. It's fundamentally that they don't have the training to do what they're supposed to do. That's the big problem. That's the main issue. You're preaching reason, people won't listen to reason? Well, yeah, but why would... And the thing is that when you're a circus, when you're in a circus, why not behave like a clown? People have been pushed away and told that any sort of reasonable discourse, like what I'm saying now, people call me a racist on the internet constantly. I get called a racist constantly when anybody who watches my stream knows that the majority of right-wing people in my chat, or like at least, you know, super right-wing people in my chat, they get mad at me because I don't... You know, I don't indulge in any sort of like racist narratives at all. I never do. And I think that's what's really ironic about it. But the problem is that because people like me get labeled as racist and I get maligned and lied about, what happens is it creates people like them where they say, you know what, we don't care if you call us racist. We're going to be racist as a response to what's happened before that. That's the issue. You walk the line? Yeah, of course. I mean, well, I'm not walking a line. I'm just giving my opinion, right? This isn't something that's difficult for me to do. I'm just looking at this logically and making a decision. It's super simple.
It's difficult to be objective when you're simply not allowed to come to certain conclusions.
Yeah, of course.
As shockingly, there are huge amounts of American truck drivers that do not speak English.
I'm the only person
Both
speaking.
of these trucks right here, neither of those drivers speak a lick of English. I go to the warehouse here and ask, where do you check in at? They don't understand either. It's a real life example of it. I deal with this almost every single day.
I gotta wait for the cops to get here.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I have to wait for the cops to get here because you hit those mailboxes.
What a fucking retard.
So Trump decided to address this.
Good.
Directing the Department of Transportation to include English literacy tests for our truckers.
Yeah.
This is a big problem in the trucking community that unless you're in that community, you
How
might
is
not know.
anybody against this even for a second? You need to, like, this is funny. I told this story before. I was driving back. We got an Uber driver from like my dad and I visited Florida, and we were driving back. We had a guy drive us back to the house, and so he was a truck driver himself, and he was from Afghanistan, and he's like, yeah, so they're making people speak English now. He's like, yeah, so that's, yeah, obviously, right? Because, you know, you need to be able to read the signs. How can you do your job if you can't read the signs and you don't know English? And I was like, yeah, obviously. Fucking obviously. It's so clear. It's so evident. And some people don't get it. Why the fuck is being fluent in English not even a base requirement to even immigrate? In my opinion, I would not let a single immigrant in that doesn't speak English. I cannot see a single way that they can provide a benefit to anybody in the country.
Now
That's
in
me.
Alabama, they just started to issue tickets to truckers that can't speak English. But how will that citation stop them from driving dangerously? Or at the very least, can they even comprehend
There's no
what
point?
they're
No.
being ticketed for? And how did it get so bad that people that don't even know how to read street signs are allowed to get behind the wheel of these humongous vehicles?
Well, there's two reasons why. Number one is malicious negligence. People just simply don't care, and they don't care about their job, and they just let whatever they want go through, and they don't even pay attention or vet it at all, because majority of people that work at the federal government are working under some sort of, 1 through 5 rating system, and they need to make sure they're getting at least a 3. And so you have basically, when you gamify a job, people stop doing their job and they play the game. And so that's the issue, is that a lot of quality work takes away from your effective numerical performance. And I think that's the big issue that happens. And so that explanation is not malicious. Well, it becomes malicious. I think that at a certain point, when you are ignoring things that are safety concerns because you're worried about your job, I understand why you're doing it, but that's absolutely malicious. Like, that's crazy. That's like saying that, like, oh, it's not malicious by speeding really fast, driving 150 miles an hour because you want to go home really soon. Yeah, I understand why you're doing it, but it doesn't make it okay. It's absolutely malicious. Plenty of people do malicious things that are understanding why a person does something doesn't mean that it's okay for them to do it. I think that people need to understand the difference between those two things. Now, the second thing is that you have also, this is the other big issue, right, is that you have people that think that it's a racist thing to have these requirements. Like, it's racist to require this kind of stuff. So you have people that are just retards and don't care about their job. And then you have people that are protecting them that care more about an ideology than people's lives here in the country. So it's both of them.
This is like hyper-left
not one, it's
California that consistently hold progressive values over the safety of their citizens.
Yeah.
With the Department of Homeland Security actually putting California Governor Newsom solely to blame. And since that post, what has Newsom done? Complained about Donald Trump. Then complained about Donald Trump again, and then replying to a post comparing him to the future likely Republican candidate for president. Which
J.D. Vance. Oh, wow. Look how good I looked in high school. Look at that. Oh, man. Yeah, for sure, man.
just highlights how J.D. Vance is more of an American everyman compared to the entitled, emotional drama queen that is Newsome. California is issuing death machines to people that can't even read street signs, and their governor seems more focused on reminiscing on his rich boy roots and designer scarves than actually addressing it. As we just
exactly it. Yeah, exactly. He's talking about how good he looked in high school while people were getting fucking run over and robbed in his state. How is it? What's crazy to me is that Gavin Newsom thinks that he has even a chance to win presidency. Like, every single year, your state burns down. Every year, there is a new meltdown that happens in California. Like, I would say half of the crash outs in the entire country are in California. They're gonna steal it? I don't think so.
Covered how absolutely every American that drives on our highways is in danger due to California's negligence. And the main person that should fix this is too preoccupied in his delusional campaign for president. And what makes this worse is you likely only know about this situation from social media.
Crazy if he does win though? Yeah, it would be. But like, either way, I mean, and again, it'd be better if he won than a number of other people that I dislike even more. But overall, I don't think that he has a chance of winning. I think that, again, like, oh, look at him, he was hot in college. This is something that works on, like, Twitter, but I don't think it really resonates with a lot of average people. And I think it's one of those things, it's kind of like the idea of, like, remember whenever they tried to pull that, oh, J.D. Vance is weird? Like, using that weird word? This is like a high school girl energy political campaign. It works, but it only works for a very small period of time, then it stops working because people realize how childish and stupid it is, and then they move on.
As I don't like covering these tragic events to try to plug something stupid like a YouTube channel, but when they're surrounded by a larger social issue that needs to be addressed, it's actually important to talk about them when you know the media likely won't.
No, exactly. And I think it's just really based off of whether it reinforces what they think or not. And that's really what matters more than anything. But yeah, I don't know yet. But that's pretty much the way that things stand. I mean, absolutely. J.D. Vance is a fat race trader. I mean, I don't care about that. I don't think most people care about that. And also, like, even if you think J.D. Vance is a race trader, at least he doesn't want to like, if you're a racist, would you care about him marrying one person who's not white? Or would you care about somebody else importing millions of people that aren't white? Like, it's not even logically... It doesn't even make sense logically if you're a racist. Like, it doesn't. Like, it's like such a short-sighted comment. A race trader? Well, that just means because, again, anybody who dates outside of their race is talked about that way. And this isn't a white thing, by the way. Black people do this. You know, like, Asians do this. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen people criticizing, like, oh, white guy, Asian couple. And it's like, or sorry, white guy, Asian girl couple. Like, this is some kind of a problem. Or, you know, like a big booty Latina thing, right? MAGA loves racist. Well, I think there's a lot. I love my Korean wife. Well, good for you, right? I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. But, like, this is a very common reality. So, yeah, how much does JD impress you with his ideas? I think JD Vance is great. I do. I'm a big fan of him. And so, I mean, I don't agree with everything he said, but, like, yeah, that's it. So, yeah, MAGA loves their immigrant wives. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with that. And I think it really kind of makes sense, right? Is that if the logic is that you feel like the Western culture has been, degraded and you want a more traditional relationship, it would logically make sense that somebody would marry into a country or marry somebody from a country that is more traditional. Like, really, it's just completely logical. And so, like, even if you follow that line of thinking, it perfectly makes sense.